I'm going to spend a few minutes going over the new timesheet, which will start with the January 2021 pay period. So the first thing that you'll notice when you look at this timesheet is it's got fewer, it's shorter. It only has your program, the social emotional well-being program. The other thing to notice is the name. So the naming is the same. So you're going to put the year 2021. The first month will be January, so 01, and then your name, hourly. So the January timesheet actually begins on 12/24/2020. And once you set that, everything else will fall in place according to the calendar. So although it starts in December, it's considered the January timesheet because most of the days are January days. The other thing to notice right away is the highlighted end of pay period dates. So we have the 8th, so try to get your timesheet in with the first 2 days, so by the 10th. And then the pay period ending on the 23rd, you'll get your timesheet in by the 25th. So you'll send your timesheets to Joan@chatscoalition.org, which is Joan Sargent, and me, Joan Hereford, at Chats Coalition. Now, let's take a look at the different areas. So our areas are marked in pink. So there's very few changes, and the changes are mostly to clarify. So the first row, you will not put anything in because you're not doing those programs. If you are, you'll know it. And then the bill bars for mentoring are now divided into telementoring versus face-to-face mentoring. So far, everything we're doing is in telementoring. So that is when you are doing the mentoring, case management, or student support related to telementoring. If you do any of these things face-to-face in person, then it comes under billable hours mentoring. So at this point, we are not doing that. So if you start doing that, then you will just make sure you know which one those are. Appointment logistics. Sorry, wrong thing, is when you are coordinating those appointments. That's when you're leaving emails, voicemails, trying to get set up a meeting with and just sending out information, general information about the program, from some sort of a copy and paste email. That would be appointment logistics time. Program development is the time that you are spent preparing your lessons. So if you are like selecting all the materials that you're going to be using for the next day from our curriculum, that would be program development time. Team meeting and supervision. So this is the time that you are meeting with the SO team with an official team meeting, or the time that you are meeting with me for supervision or coaching after your training is finished and you're continuing, for coaching. Documentation time is the time that you spend weekly in Theranos documenting your case notes, and usually that's 5 to 10 minutes per client. Your treatment time, making your treatment plans is going to count under documentation time. And I know many people still need to make treatment plans on their clients, so when you do, it counts as documentation time. Professional development and training. So when you are in training, that is professional development time. And then if you attend a workshop or something that has been approved and you're going to come back and share it with the team, that would be professional development. File management is when you are filing either paper filing, which you're not doing right now, or any kind of electronic filing, moving files from Theranos to the G Drive and that sort of thing. That's file management. Drive time is not applicable until we are seeing people in person, and then you are paid for drive time outside of your normal commute to chats. Okay, so that's all the places that you're filling out on your timesheet. That's a lot to keep track of. So coming up with a system so that you can fill this sheet out daily is very, very helpful. Oh, one more thing before I move on to that system is to notice underneath the program administrative things that you might need. So really, For you, it would be an all-staff meeting would be the one that you would use. So when we meet on Mondays, like that would considered, those are considered all-staff meetings. And you'll put that on there. We meet Mondays with all the programs. Okay, so how do we keep track of all this? Well, this is a tool that I'm including in the email. So the directions, which I went over, are in the email. And then this is a Excel sheet that you can, it's actually set up so that if you print it, it's going to print out on one page. And it has all the different areas. So some people find it easier to jot things down as they go throughout the day because you guys are going back and forth quite a bit. So being able to jot this down or create something like in a notebook or something that has the columns that you use the most, and then just keep a running total as you go back and forth throughout the day of what type of activities that you are doing. Because we do have a lot of starts and stops when we're working at home. There are some people that as much as just have use a clock on their phone to figure it out. But do note it on a piece of paper. I print this out and I just jot it down as I go on a sheet of paper. So, but please do, if you fill your timesheet out at the end of every day, then filling it out at the end of the time period, it's not going to be a big deal. But because you have to keep track of so many things, it is very, very difficult to fill it out for a 2-week period of time unless you've taken some really good notes on some sort of a documentation chart like that. So if you have any questions on our new timesheet or how to fill it out or anything like that, please do not hesitate